Watch out. This is the entire review for the trigonometry chapter. We're going to do both of these problems quick. The first one, you're going to expand r sine theta cosine alpha. If this is minus, this will be minus cosine theta sine alpha. Then we overlap this thing. So we have the sine theta, we have the 5/2. We have the cosine theta, we have the 5 square root of 3 over 2. Right? Whether you caught this or not, it would make life so much easier if you would just factor out a 5. Because now what you have is cosine alpha is equal to 1/2, and sine alpha is square root of 3 over 2. Do you like that? Is that better? And so let's say we're in quadrant what? Quadrant 1, and you have the sine is square root of 3 over 2, and the cosine is 1/2. So which angle is that? Pi over 6 or pi over 3? Pi over what? 3. Yep, 60 degrees. So there's your r is 5, and your alpha is pi over 3. You didn't even need a calculator for that. So once we've found that and simplified it to this form, you could sketch the graph very easily. Sine of 0 is 0. So it's going to go up to 5, down to negative 5. And then we're going to go regular 0 to 2 pi. Pi will be in the middle, pi over 2 here. But this isn't this one. We have to shift it to the right, pi over 3. So it'll be something like that. It'll be something like that. But what are they asking us to find for this one? Max and min. So where does the max occur at? Y equal to 5. And what is the min going to be at? Y equal to negative 5. Are they asking for the x values of those? Whew, good. If they did, all it would be pi over 2 plus pi over 3. Here it would be 3 pi over 2 plus pi over 3. If you had to do it, that's what you would do. All right, now it says, ooh, solve. Oh, this is a great problem. No, not a great problem. You're supposed to solve this thing, set it equal to negative 5/2. Well, this, the way it is horrible, but if you replace it with 5 sine theta minus pi over 3, and then set it equal to negative 5/2, what could you do to both sides that would make your life great? Divide by 5. And so now all you have to do then is sine of theta minus pi over 3 is equal to negative 1/2. Love it. Draw my unit circle. Sine is the y. Y is negative 1/2. So remember what we did is we pretended to take this thing and block it out. So it's when is the sine equal to negative 1/2? Well, that is here and here. 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. We're between 0 and 2 pi, so that's good. So this thing here, that theta minus pi over 3 is equal to 7 pi over 6. Theta minus pi over 3 is equal to 11 pi over 6. And now you've got your two answers. You just solve for theta. Do I need to finish it? I will. All right. So this is just going to be theta is equal to 7 pi over 6 plus 2 pi over 6. And then this one is going to be 11 pi over 6 plus 2 pi over 6. This guy is 9 pi over 6 or 3 pi over 2. What's this 13 pi over 6 the same as between 0 and 2 pi? Just pi over 6, yeah. So those are your two values between 0 and 2 pi that satisfy that equation. Very, very within your ability range, but pretty challenging. For number 2, this is kind of a combination of solving and a combination of knowing what to do with this 3 theta. So first thing it says, an angle satisfies the following, where theta is between 0 and 2 pi. Show how the result is sine 3 theta equal to 1/2. So how many of you are intimidated by the cotangent and cosecant? Can we just change those? Is that okay? So change that to 2 cosine squared 3 theta over sine squared 3 theta. And this is going to be 3 over sine 3 theta equals 0. Are you okay with that move? Is that all right? What would you do next to be able to deal with these two fractions? I wish, but we can't.
We'll just like factor in W or something.
You could. You could. I was thinking of the sine squared in the denominator and sine. How do we handle those two? We need to get a common denominator of sine 3 theta in the top, sine 3 theta in the bottom. So now we have 2 cosine squared 3 theta minus 3 sine 3 theta equals 0, and both of these have sine squared 3 theta. Sine squared 3 theta. And essentially this one does too. Because if you divide by anything, 0 divided by anything is still 0. Are you okay with me ignoring this whole bottom part? Is that all right? Once we get a common denominator and set it equal to 0? Is that part okay? All right. Turn to your neighbor. Tell them what the next step is. Very key right now. Tell them. What do we do next? This where you got stuck? Okay. See if somebody can figure it out. What do we do? Charlie, you got an idea? Do you have an idea? I'm going to take Kurt's advice here and just just so it looks a little nicer, 3 theta equal to m. I don't want to put w for y zeta. So this is just going to be m minus 3 sine of m equal theta. Okay. There's got to be something we can do. Got to be. Yeah, you need to get it in terms of sine, because to do any factoring, you got to get them in terms of sine. So this is a great setup. Cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared. And then minus 3 sine m equal to 0. So then when I multiply that out, I get 2 minus 2 sine squared m minus 3 sine m. Put everything on one side. You get 2 sine squared m plus 3 sine m minus 2. Now do you have something you can do? What can I do next? What do you think? Do you think you factor it? Yeah, and this will factor nicely. It will. 2 sine, and where do you want the 2? On the left or right? You want it on the right here. That's what you want. It does.
Fine.
So it's positive 4 minus 1 is 3. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So then now we're going to have two cases. Two cases. You either have 2 sine m minus 1 equals 0, or sine m plus 2 equals 0. And why do I like sine m equal to negative 2? Why do I like that? Anybody know why I like that? Why do I like this one? Yeah, because you can never have it. Sine will never go down to negative 2, so we don't have to do anything with that. That one's done. But this sine 3 theta equal to 1/2, why is that good? That's what you're looking for. That's the answer. Yeah, that's what you were trying to find.
Oh.
Sine 3 theta equal to 1/2, we proved it.
Go back.
Hannah, what you got? Sure. You did? But you understand this better? Yeah, I think what they did, my guess is that they changed they changed cotangent squared to cosecant squared minus 1. Yeah. I don't think you like doing that. The whole time, yep. It doesn't change. It's just like alpha. It's just 3 theta is just the new alpha. Let's say theta was 10 degrees. 3 theta would be what? 30 degrees. So it's just a different value. But I think this is very confusing this way. I tend not to do it that way. All right. Now let's keep going. Now that we have this, it says find all the values of theta. So to find all the values of theta, we start with sine 3 theta equal to 1/2. So on the unit circle, when is the sine of theta equal to 1/2? You got it. Pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. Is my drawing helpful? When you have a unit circle and just say y is equal to 1/2 or negative 1/2 or square root of 3 over 2, you can draw that line and you can really visually see this. So 3 theta is equal to pi over 6 plus 2 pi k, or 3 theta is equal to 5 pi over 6 plus 2 pi k. Then I think you want to divide by 3, don't you? And so your answer is going to be theta is equal to pi over 18 plus 2 pi over 3k
5 pi over 8. Or no.
and 5 pi over 18. Yep, that's all right. 2 pi k over 3. And those are all the answers between 0 and 2 pi, but I think they want you to list them. So I'm going to do that right now. Theta is pi over 18, 5 pi over 18. There's 2 of them. Now the next one is going to be, let's see, 12 pi over 18 plus 1 pi over 18 is how many pi over 18? 13 pi over 18. Am I going too fast? All right. And then this one's going to also be 5 pi plus 12. 5 and 12, 17 pi over 18. And then you need to wrap it around again. So let's see, 5 pi. So this will be 24 plus 1 is 25 pi over 18. And then 24 plus 5 is 29 pi over 18. By the way, what's 18 times 2? Is 29 less than 36? So did I keep that between 0 and 2 pi? Yeah, let's try one more. What is 12 times 3? 36. 36 plus 1 is 37. Is that bigger than 36? Yep, and then this would be 36 plus 5, which would be 41, bigger than 36. So this is it. Here's what would happen for me. If you would get it down to here, you'd get all the points except 1. Can I show you a little trick? If you want to know how many answers there's going to be, when sine theta was equal to 1/2, how many answers did you have? 2, right? So with 2 theta, it would be 4. With 3 theta, it would be 6, wouldn't it? If it were 4 theta, it would be 8. That would be mean. I could see myself doing that. 4 theta. Nah, that'd be pretty mean. But you okay with that? That's it. Should all take a bow. You just did the really tough review. You're done. Oh, still recording.